That's
That's same.
it.
What's
Yeah.
up, Blueprint family? How y'all doing tonight? Thank you all for joining us for another show. So, tonight's topic is how to get over your ex and find love again. I know this is a hot topic. I know this is a hot one because a lot of people, a lot of people, they go through breakups and they're trying to get over the person and detox them out of their system, but they don't know how. So, we are here to provide that blueprint for you all so that you all can stop trying to DM your ex and talk smack about them on social media, hoping that they see it, show up at their houses unexpectedly, all of that crazy stuff that you all are doing. So we're going to help you set the record straight so that you can leave them alone, or vice versa, so that they can leave you alone. So let's begin.
Yeah. Oh, stop, Roxy. Our doggy co-host over here. Okay, so this actually was based off of a simple question that we received: how to get over. Oh, I'm sorry. A simple question. Referring to how to get over your ex. So it was really easy. It just said, after realizing things wouldn't work in my relationship, I am struggling to get over my ex. Any advice? So I think this is a great question, like you were saying, because although we have covered a topic like this before, we can go through this, again and maybe dig a little deeper because everyone experiences breakups differently. So for some people it may be real easy to get through and it's quick and you can move on to the next, while for other people you may need some more time and maybe even some help working through those emotions. So tonight we're going to actually dig deep into how to really do this and utilize this whole time as a way to bounce back in a way and find love again, or position yourself better for love, I should say.
You mean with intentions on actually being
Mhm.
married, not
Mhm.
try to rebound and
Yeah,
dog
right.
people out?
Right, not the playing way.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to know more player tips, you can sign up for consulting. Hit me up. I'll let you know some of my playbook back in the day. So,
Gandhi.
yeah, for a fee. The game ain't free though. So, just want to let y'all know that.
That's funny. Well, breakups in general can be unexpected. So that's certainly one thing that is important to address. Even if you know that your breakup is coming, it can actually still be difficult to deal with the emotions when things actually take place. So, for this reason, breakups can often challenge your sense of stability and security overall within your life because, hey, especially when it's unexpected or, you thought things would turn out a different way, or if you
Mhm.
were really like planning towards another future.
Yeah, so breakups can be confusing. Sometimes it's not clear why a relationship didn't work. So,
Yeah.
this can lead to feelings of self doubt, guilt, and anger.
Yeah, making it an even more difficult time. So we totally understand it. And that's why we're here to go through this again and hopefully present this in another way so that it brings comfort and peace and actually provides you with a great way of, coming out on the other side of this in a better light. Because breakups can really be lonely, especially if you feel isolated or alone from like having similar friends with your ex or whatever, or even like mutual activities with your ex, and now you have to stop doing those things or communicating with those people. So that can be a difficult time too, so we get that.
Yep, and breakups can trigger other difficult emotions.
Yeah.
A breakup can bring up other painful experiences from the past, such as childhood trauma or abandonment.
Yeah.
So, this makes it even harder to cope with the emotions of the breakup.
Yeah.
So, tonight we're going to help you learn and analyze your past relationships and learn from mistakes. That way, you can increase your chances of finding a successful and fulfilling relationship in the future.
Yes. Yep. And of course, the first one that we always say, I'm trying to make sure our YouTube is up and going. It froze a little bit, but I think it's good. Ah, there we go. Okay. So, of course, The first one, with all types of challenges that you're having to go through, in particular when it comes to a breakup, you have to make sure that you're allowing yourself to grieve, really allowing yourself to grieve. Because when you break up with someone, you're ultimately could be really losing a significant person in your life. And this can make the whole thing very painful, again, like we mentioned before, especially though if the relationship was long term, if you guys really were deeply in love with each other. This really just makes it even more essential that you actually take the time to feel all of those emotions, go through them, sadness, anger, confusion, like you were talking about, frustration, all of that. Don't try to bottle that up and just pretend that you're okay when you're really not, because that's not going to help you process and get through this whole experience, which will actually help you better yourself.
Yep, and journaling can help you to process your emotions and identify your attachments.
Yeah.
So write about your feelings, your thoughts, and your experiences. So once you've processed these emotions, you can start to reflect on your relationship.
Yes, I love journaling. That is by far my favorite way to get through a lot of different things because it offers you that safe, non judgmental space of actually being open and honest and just like letting it all out. So, taking the time to just really reflect on everything you experienced, anything you may be feeling, and just, leaving it there and moving on, right? Once you flip the page and you start to something new, you can, in a way, move on even on an energetic level. If you are interested more in energy work, then you certainly can burn the letter and then, or the writing, the journal entry, and let that signify you releasing those emotions, you're releasing those experiences, you're releasing whatever you put on that paper and letting it transmute into something else. This is actually very beneficial on not only a soul level, but also for your mind and your emotions as well.
Yep, and take time to identify um, what went well and what didn't.
Yeah.
So this is another great journaling moment.
Yeah.
So you can ask yourself, so what were the strengths of the relationship? What were the weaknesses? What did you enjoy about your spouse? What did you dislike?
Yeah, these are serious questions that you should write down and take a moment to reflect it, because we're going to get to why this is going to be important later. But in particular, another great thing to reflect on is your own role in the relationship. So you got to be honest about your own contributions, how things, may have been a success or a failure based off of the things that you did. What did you do well? What could you have done better? Those are legit questions that you also too should write down and reflect on.
Here are some more specific questions to reflect on.
Mhm.
Number one, what were my spouse's strengths and weaknesses? Number two, what were my strengths and weaknesses in the relationship? Number three, what were my needs and values in the relationship? Number
Mhm.
four, what were my spouse's needs and values in the relationship?
Wait, if I could stop you right there, because I know
Right.
you're about to go through. But here in particular, when we're talking about what were my spouse's needs and values in the relationship, this is really important, especially for understanding more so how you could have been of benefit more within the relationship, or even just a better understanding of what either the man or women often value within relationships, and just seeing how maybe your play of what you value as well may have aligned or didn't align. So it's really, even though you broke up, it's like, why do I even care? Why, what they felt or needed. That just really gives you a little peek into, maybe some things that you could have offered a little better.
Yep. And also, number five, what did I enjoy most about the relationship? Number
Hmm.
six, what did I dislike the most about the relationship?
Yeah. Yep, these are general questions. Again, they may seem a little vague, but these will give you some good cue things to tap into, to be able to draw wisdom for and apply to your next, draw wisdom from, I'm sorry, and apply to your next relationship. So another huge one is, what were the biggest challenges we faced in the relationship? This is going to get you down to, how well did you handle those challenges? How did y'all handle them at all? Or did you not handle the challenges? Is that the whole reason why y'all broke up in the first place? This will really get you into the mindset of maybe, how you handle things, how you could have done it better. What things did you need from your spouse in your next relationship that will help you be able to get through challenges better if this soul challenge arises again in another relationship. It's really all about, again, using that wisdom and applying it to, lessons that you can take for yourself so that you can make better choices and decisions later on.
And
Oh, yeah, the last one.
what did I learn about myself from the relationship?
Mm-hmm.
So overall, what these also help you to discover are red flags.
Yeah.
So hopefully you'll be able to discern quickly in your next relationship on these questions based on who you're dating. So you'll be able to compare that person and understand if they are providing what you need and what you really want out of a spouse.
Yes. So if you missed these questions, for those that are just tuning in, be sure to run this back. We dropped some great questions that you should take and reflect on so that you can draw experience from.
So once you have a good understanding of your past relationships, you can start to use that information to better yourself and find love again.
Yeah.
So for example, if you've realized that you have a tendency to be too critical of your spouse, you can make a conscious effort to be more positive and supportive.
Yeah.
Or if you realize that you have a hard time communicating your needs, you can practice doing so in a more assertive way, vice versa. So even if your spouse had these issues as well, you can see and, like I said, discern in the next person that you're dating.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely. Next, so like my husband had said, once you have that understanding, then you can apply it to the next part, which is identifying your needs and values. Exactly what you were hinting right on into, because you need to know, what did I learn about what I want in a future relationship in particular from that whole experience? What did I want? How do I want to change it? I always think of contrast. Contrast provides a great opportunity for you to really narrow down the things that you really like and you don't like. It's like giving the universe a definite, yep, I like this. Nah, I don't like that, So
Right.
it, narrows down the search and can make things really a lot easier for you, especially when you're trying to streamline or manifest a spouse or something like that. So take the time to really write out your most important needs and values in a relationship. Try to avoid the surface level stuff. Try to dig a little deeper and really look for, what you're looking for in a spouse, those qualities, those traits. In particular, for my ladies out there, wifeconomics.com, we go through this for like a whole week worth of digging in and understanding men, understanding what are the righteous qualities to look for in a spouse, especially a husband who you want to lead you for a lifetime. So utilize that. It's a great tool that I'm super excited to be able to offer, because it's really going to help bring about a lot of change within how people go about relationships and dating and overall long-term committed relationships.
Right. And make sure that your expectations are realistic and not fanciful as well, because you're going to have a lot of disappointments if they are very fanciful and unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
So try to, decipher all of that from your past relationship as far as if you had unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
So next, make a plan for change. So after all of this reflection, you should have a good understanding of your past relationships and what you want in the future.
Yeah.
So this puts you in a great place. So to start make a plan for change. So make that plan for change.
Yeah.
And ask yourself, what areas do you need to work on in order to be a better spouse? What kind of person do you want to attract? Because you are who you are with.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, they are a reflection of you, or if not, a copy of you in a way.
Yeah.
So, be mindful of that. If there's things that you don't like about yourself that you're doing and habits that you need to stop doing, then I would suggest you get help with those and stop those before you even enter another relationship. If it's trauma that you've been through that has been unhealed. Unhealed trauma that you have. So you need to make sure that you get help with that first before you go into your next relationships, because these breakups can be very traumatic. So you want to make sure that you are whole and ready for someone else, so that you're not trying to find someone to rebound on.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, too, right along with making that plan is aligning yourself to be in the place to even meet this person. So if you know you've done all this reflection and you see, dag, I keep dating the same type of people, I keep meeting them the same places. We've gone over this a lot of times, but it's really important to recognize when you may need to remove yourself from your environment and put yourself in a different environment so that you're likely to come across more options of men and women. We often forget that during like your younger years, like college especially, that is the one time where you are just surrounded by so many of your peers, so many different people, so many different like opportunities to actually find a mate. But then later on, we are more so stuck in our routines, right? We're just going to work, we're going home, we're maybe going to a restaurant here or there, but it doesn't offer as many opportunities or nearly as many people to come in contact with and actually be able to date. So certainly analyze, hey, when is the best time for me to, meet these people that I want to attract these certain qualities or whatever? And how can I actually place myself in those, areas, whether that's taking a course to lighten your mind or join a meetup group or like any type of group that will get you involved in similar like-minded people. That's certainly going to be helpful in your pursuit in the long run.
Yep, and then take the time to
Oh,
write.
wait.
I'm sorry. Make a plan.
Yeah, we did that.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, that's our last one. Yep. Let's head on to the next step.
There you go. All right. So ask for support from your friends, family, or a therapist.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to talk personally to someone you trust so that they can help you process your emotions and feelings. So you feel less alone, because these breakups can be very detrimental, very, like I said before, very traumatic. A lot of people go through depression during breakups.
Yeah.
And ultimately, what you really need to do is talk about your feelings and your emotions to families and friends. Just let them know that you just need a sounding board, someone to just talk to and vent to, because it's real serious.
Yeah.
Often at times we worry about people's mental health in these situations, and it's real out here. So I
Yeah.
mean, we've heard multiple situations of people going through breakups and they commit crimes, and
Have a hard time,
unfortunately
yeah.
they have a hard time pulling through with those breakups. Often at times, God forbid, they end in self-deletion of some sort. So you don't want to, if you know a friend that's going through a breakup, please call on them, check on them periodically, often,
Yeah.
more than often than not. And if you feel as if they're going through something and they said that they're fine, still check up on them,
Yeah.
go visit them, take them out, get their mind off of the situation and what they're going through, so that they can lighten up, bless you, and
Thank you.
feel better about life again. So
Right.
really pay attention, those friends out there, friends and family. If you know somebody who's going through a breakup, please, like I said, follow those instructions, check up on them, make sure that they're doing well.
Yeah, so true. And don't be afraid yourself if you're going through a breakup to please speak up. So many times we don't, speak up out of just wanting to go through it on your own, maybe thinking you're strong enough. There's nothing wrong with wanting someone around you and having some support around you and, just somebody just to be there. That's always what I think the human mind always loves to have those attachments with people to make you feel safe and secure. So please do those things that are going to help you feel that way. Any additional tips? Well, yep, we do. We have a couple more things that we have not addressed that we for sure want to talk about, because this, I don't know if this was a man or a woman that wrote this, but in particular saying how to get your ex out of your mind, right? You're having a hard time. So I think the biggest one that I always think of is identifying those attachments. Usually especially you're talking about long-term relationships, you've been together for a long time, you've usually adopted some type of specific things that you have come to think about or associate with your ex at that moment, whether it's physical qualities, personal traits, shared memories, certain smells, certain foods, all that stuff, try to actually sit back and identify those. So then that way you can start working on letting them go, releasing those attachments. If again, you're more of an energy person, maybe you'll be interested in looking into cord cutting in the sense of spiritual cord cutting, especially if there's a good, big trauma bond there that you had with that person, or maybe a tight soul tie that you had with that person on an energetic level. Consider things like that. Also, remove reminders of your ex from your house. So if you have things like around your house, like pictures or clothing or gifts that they brought you, any little thing
Just
like
go ahead and
that,
burn it up.
yeah, go ahead
Put
and
it
let
in
it
throw
go.
metal
Yeah.
trash can outdoors. Burn it up. Get rid of it.
Yeah, we gotta let those things go because our mind will associate with those things, and naturally you'll set yourself up because you'll trigger yourself, and then you'll go, you can put yourself in a darker space. So certainly get rid of those things.
No, and then don't do no stuff like trying to steal their things.
Oh
When you go
yeah,
through a bad,
vandalizing and stuff like that.
vandalizing this.
Yeah.
Don't commit crimes in this. Be very mature about the situation, even though it's very hard. Don't commit crimes, please.
Right. Yeah.
Avoid contact with your ex at all costs,
Yeah.
even if it's passive communication. You
Yeah.
don't want to do that or talk about them
Yeah.
in the windows or social media and things like that. So this may be difficult, but it's important to give yourself space to heal. So if you continue to contact or talk about in passive communication, it will be harder to move on.
Yeah. One thing that popped in my head was maybe if you have children with this ex, this may certainly be harder if to avoid your ex, right? So in those moments, it's really important to be the bigger person for your children. And in that moment, you have to remember it's not about you anymore. And it's really about having that harmonious relationship with the mother or father of your child. So at that moment, just try to be as cordial as you possibly can, maybe minimize the contact. Certainly have a third party involved if it's been, any type of abusiveness attached to it or just some bad blood somewhere in there. Just really be proactive with that. So then that way you don't get yourselves involved in some, crazy situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you need to avoid places where you're likely to see your ex, you need to do that.
Yeah.
If it's too much for you, you should try to go to other places.
Yeah.
So try to avoid those bars, those restaurants.
Yeah.
Pick a new spot.
Yeah.
Pick a new seat. Pick a new window area.
Yeah.
It's also a good idea to avoid social media, like I was saying.
Yeah.
So that you don't passively talk about them and then friends go back and relay messages to them.
Yeah.
Don't stalk them on their pages or them at all. I would say just avoid social media altogether.
Yeah.
Pick up a new hobby.
Yeah.
Play a lot of video games or something, guys out there.
Yeah.
Continue to, talk to your friends, hang
Get
out with your
busy.
friends,
Yeah.
be busy, do something, work on yourself. Work on yourself. Seriously.
Yep. And certainly don't compare yourself to your ex, though. So you don't want to, start just thinking about what your ex is doing at that time or just, how they've moved on or, whatever it is that you can compare them to, whether it's maybe even their new date, whoever, whatever. Just avoid doing that. Let's say comparison is the thief of joy, and your ex is not perfect, and you're probably not perfect either. None of us are. So there is just, plenty of other people though out there that will love you and appreciate you for who you are, but you don't have to that doesn't have to come at the expense of putting someone else down. It's not really how that works. The universe is abundant with love. It's lots to go around, but the real thing is you being open to receiving it. And honestly, you just won't be as open to receiving love in another space if you haven't taken the time to really find peace with that and move on in a healthier way.
So next, forgive yourself and your ex. Forgiveness is a
Yeah.
powerful tool for healing, believe it or not. It doesn't mean that you condone your ex's behavior, but it does mean that you release the anger, the tension, and resentment that you're holding on to. Because
Yeah.
ultimately that will bring you down, of course.
Yeah.
So like we said
Certainly get
before,
that.
distract yourself when you're feeling down and try to make yourself busy. Do things to make yourself busy with activities that you enjoy. Exercise is a great way to cope. So this could include spending time with friends and family, pursuing your hobbies, or working on a new project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like you said, exercise is a great way to release dopamine. Maybe taking up new hobbies that help your mind to feel good. Especially like, I don't know, some people adopt drinking different herbal teas during this time. Like they do things that make them take in more air. Relaxation techniques. They adopt a whole bunch of different coping mechanisms during that time. But the whole idea really is to get your mind to find again that space of peace again, being more happy about your own growth and the place that you're in and the opportunity that this new space has, opened up for you. And if you are open to that, then you're certainly going to be able to move forward. But just got to be patient because it does take time to get over a breakup. It doesn't happen overnight. That's why, it's probably not going to be the first or last question we get like this that's going to require us to talk about this. But, it's one of those things that the more you are aware of different tactics and methods of healthier ways of processing your emotions and different
coping.
experiences, the better you can get through things. And we're here to help with that. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. And we hope you've gotten something from this.
Yeah. That is true. Thank you. Thank you. Well, if you're struggling to get your ex out of your mind, it may be helpful to talk to bring in a third party for help. So be sure to vet your therapist, of course, and counselors. But third party help can be useful in helping you to understand your emotions and develop coping mechanisms to deal with the breakups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's if you're really having a hard time. And again, be okay with that. Like,
And the statistic that I read was that as long the length of time that you actually been with that person is more than likely the amount of time you may need in order to get over that person. As well, to get that person out of your system, to detox them. Mm-hmm. So that is a real thing. And that's a scientific research. You can go look it up. But it's around the same amount of time that you actually been with that person. So for those people who've been in long relationships, it takes a long time to get over that person. So years.
Yeah.
So believe it or not.
Yeah, and certainly get help with that. Yeah. Don't try to do it all alone. It's okay to need help. It's okay to want that support. In fact, that's what a relationship is all about, that level of vulnerability and recognizing that, hey, I want to have someone around to help me do this and do life with. And that's also a great mentality to have, even when you're single, to not let yourself get so hard up and not trusting people and opening up to people that mean you well, right? So your friends, your families, take advantage of them and being with them and, spending that time with them. So it'll really help you feel better in the long run. That's all for this, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With that being said, do anyone have any questions, comments, conundrums, problems, issues that they would like to bring up and talk about, or either topics that we can cover for next time?
Yeah. Thank you all for showing up. This is a little smaller crowd, but we've talked about this a couple times. But, we always catch new people around. Yep. So it's always, it's never a bad thing. Even if it's a question that you might have seen us talk about before, if you want to add in a little more personal perspective on something and you want us to chime in on that, then hit us up on wifeconomics.com/submit a question. It's a safe, secure website. You can do it anonymously. As you see, a lot of times we never really post the number, age, or anything.
We forgot to run the banner
name. For the
bottom.
Yeah, for the YouTube.
Yeah. So I guess that's this. So with that being said, there's no show tomorrow, so no Marriage Fit Friday for tomorrow because it's my wife's birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, honey.
So
early birthday.
So we are going to be marriage fitting ourselves and spending some quality time together. That's what I would love to do and relax. Mama need a day off.
Yep. So with that being said, good people, Blueprint family, thank you all for joining us. And until next time, you all have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you back here Monday. We will see you back here Monday, same time, same place. Peace.
Hello. The music.